What's going on, guys? This is Praise the Dark here, and I gotta admit it feels really strange saying that. It has been so long since I've sat down with my headset on, my microphone in front of me, and done anything. It's actually kind of funny because the gameplay that you're seeing, I was actually doing a live voiceover while playing, so you'll notice that I'm playing like actual dog shit the entire time, on top of the fact that I haven't played Sekiro in months. But yeah, I tried doing that. I listened to it. I watched the whole thing over again because I didn't want the first thing I uploaded to my channel to be horrible. And it was just that. It was terrible. I'm not good anymore at being able to talk live over footage while I'm playing the game, especially this game. Sekiro, even though I played a lot of it back, when it first came out, it's still not as second nature to me as Dark Souls is. So doing that whole sitting down, recording, playing the game thing was just like impossible. I had no idea where I was going with the video. And I was kind of rambling just like this. I still don't have a script. I'm still not going to sit down and try my best to write something down and make a plan. I just kind of wanted to talk, especially since it's been so long, and figure you guys might want to catch up with me and how I've been, and what I've been up to in the last almost 2 years since I've uploaded. And I will admit, I haven't thought about uploading at all, really, in the last couple of years now. Not because I didn't like YouTube, not because I didn't like the direction of my channel, but really, as soon as I went to college, I had no time to do anything. And you could say, well, hey, maybe you should have uploaded during your breaks, or, you have summer breaks, you have months, you have time. I'm always working. I always had a job. I always was working 9 to 5, going to the gym, making sure I was balancing everything on top of having a girlfriend. It's just been a lot of work, I guess you could say, and I've missed it. I really missed going back to YouTube. I remember, I think it was last week, I got a comment from one of my subs who was like, hey man, I haven't watched any of your videos in forever. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, well, I haven't recorded anything in forever either. It's crazy. Sometimes I'll go back on my channel and look at my videos and watch what I've recorded and what I've made, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I haven't done this in so long, because before it just felt so second nature. I had to do that. That was my channel. That was what I wanted to do. So now I had an established community that I was very proud of, and it's kind of dwindled. I let it dwindle, and I regret it wholeheartedly, because I miss being able to connect with my subscribers in the way that I did before. I was playing video games with some of them. They would join me in my Twitch server. They would go on my Discord. They would just all establish contact with me in a way that I thought was really cool. All of us people that were super fans of Dark Souls and any of the series brought forward by FromSoft, we'd all just get together, play video games, talk about video games, and the direction in which these video games were going. I loved it. And I had my life get in the way of that. It's hard. College showed me, honestly, that I had to kind of throw away some of my passions. For one, obviously I did this YouTube channel, and that kind of went away with time. I mean, it's been almost 2 years. And then I also am someone who is very into music. I've been playing drums since I was 3 years old. I got my first set, and I barely even play them anymore. It's just been so hard to balance what I've had to go on with in school, my social life, everything. It's just been a lot. And I guess I needed a break. But I feel like now I've gotten into the groove of things. And I know I'm saying that now after being in college for 2 years now. I'm on my sophomore year. I probably should have figured it out a while before, but I will admit my first year was tough. I'm a computer engineering major, and I figured it would kick my ass, but I didn't realize it would kick my ass into a new dimension. It is way harder than I had ever experienced. Going through grade school, middle school, high school, I never really had to try too hard. I don't know if it was because of the school system. I don't know if it was because of my, I don't if I was like just too smart in that group, where how there's some people who don't have to study very much in high school to go along and continue. And I was one of those people where I just didn't really have to study, and I didn't really do my homework, so I was kind of lazy, I will admit. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm not saying, oh, I'm so smart. I'm just saying, like, in high school, I didn't feel very challenged. And going into college, it was a whole new realm where now I'm having to learn things at an accelerated pace with material I've never even touched before. And me wanting to be a computer engineer, I didn't really anticipate how difficult how difficult classes could actually become. For instance, in high school, I had 0 computer science classes because my school was so small. They barely offered advanced placement classes. Like, I could only take calculus, only take chemistry, only take biology. I think there was only 4 or 5 AP courses in total in my entire school. And some people don't take those at all, but I know that for my major, it helps a great deal. Especially when you get into these advanced computer science, logic, and mathematics courses that you've never really experienced, or at least I've never really experienced before. So it was kind of like a culture shock. And on top of that, I had to make sure I established a social life, because going into college, I knew nobody. And high school wasn't my greatest friend in the world, because I didn't have too many of those in high school either. So it was just kind of like a whole new, holy shit, I gotta establish myself, be myself, do my own thing in a new place. So I went in there and I tried my best. I put my best foot forward and I just kept going. And I can say now I'm in a place that is so much more healthy than I've ever even been in my life. That being said, I mean, I have a huge group of friends that I've never anticipated even having. I'm doing really well in school now. My first semester was a little rocky just because I wasn't used to the whole holy crap I gotta study now kind of thing, because I never did in the past. And I have a girlfriend that actually treats me right. I know I never really talked about my personal life too much on this channel, but in years past, I've had a bad deck of cards handed to me, and I'm sure a lot of people experience the same things, where, you know, in school, I wasn't treated the best. I was talked down to, bullied a bit, so I wasn't the most confident guy stepping into college. And with the same respect, I had just gotten out of a very unhealthy relationship of 3 years where I ended up getting cheated on, so that was awesome. So it was just like, okay, I'm gonna start over, and starting over has been the best thing to ever happen to me. I feel like I'm learning. I feel surrounded by people that love me, and I am happy. And that's why I am stepping back to my channel, because I feel like I'm finally capable of being able to sit down and record something and feel good about it. Right before I went to college, I was going to upload one more video, and it was actually going to be a video where I said I was done with YouTube. And this was after a lot of bad things had happened in high school, and my computer shut down. I had to rebuild it. I had to reinstall everything, and I lost all my old videos, and I lost all my old recording software, and it was just like, you know what? I don't have the mental capacity to do this anymore, so I was going to just stop. And I'm glad I didn't, because regardless of how long I've taken a break from YouTube, it was never a goodbye. There was never a farewell, and there was always a part of my heart that wanted to step back into the picture. And here I am. Now, I know this video has been kind of rambly and, you know, all that, but I didn't really have a plan going forward. I was just like, I want to record a video. I kind of wanted to do a dark podcast again. I'd only done 2 of them, and the last video I actually uploaded was a dark podcast, and I figured what better to reintroduce myself than a video where I just talk and let my mind roam. One thing that is kind of scary to me, just being a Dark Souls oriented channel, is the fact that From Software is not really doing anything with their marketing team at the moment with Elden Ring. I know that over the summer we got that little reveal at E3, and I was actually going to make a video about that during the summer, but I ended up just getting swamped with work and just didn't do it. I also figured that everyone would be making videos about Elden Ring, and what more could I even say? It's not even really giving out any information, the video itself. You could pull at straws, you could go, hey, there's rumors about this and there's rumors about that, but nowadays you just see channels uploading like fake art that people put on Reddit in which they predict what bosses will look like. And I'm not saying that's bad content, but it just feels like no one really knows what to do right now. All the Dark Souls oriented channels are like, holy shit, you know, I don't really have anything to say anymore. Dark Souls 3 came out in 2016. Now it's 2020. It's been fucking 4 years. Like, holy shit. What else are we supposed to do? I mean, Sekiro came out, but there's not really too much to speculate about that. The lore wasn't as massive and grandiose as Dark Souls lore was. It was more straightforward. It's a story of one samurai, or not. I don't know if you'd call him a samurai. Shinobi, that's what you'd call him. It's been so long since I've played Sekiro, to be honest with you. But yeah, everything seemed really linear, so there wasn't that much room for storytelling, and a lot of YouTubers that focused on Dark Souls didn't actually post too much about Sekiro either. Even Vadi only uploaded maybe like, you know, a good handful, and Dark Souls lore videos have been going on for years. I mean, people are still unlocking shit. And I'm not saying that Sekiro is bland, that doesn't have enough in it. It's just not as huge. It's an action RPG in that it's more action than RPG. You can't do your own character creation, you can't change your build, you're basically stuck doing the same thing. I loved it. I thought it was a good experience. But the reason why I didn't upload anything is just because I felt like there wasn't much to go around, unless I wanted to keep showing like boss runs or walkthroughs or whatever. But there's so many of those, and I don't want to be a repetition of hundreds of other channels. I mean, what really got me noticed originally was where I was speculating about the DLC that would come out in Dark Souls 3, and I predicted a few things right. And I was pretty proud of that. Those were my videos that really branched out in this community, and I was just so excited to see that I was finally getting a little bit more subscribers, a little bit more activity in my comment sections, and people were coming over to my Twitch and chatting with me for hours, and it was awesome. I loved that. And I didn't really feel like I could do anything like that with Sekiro. And I guess I might as well ramble a little bit about Sekiro while we're watching some gameplay on it and talking about it a little bit. The game was great. It was a good story. It felt nice to go through a new world and feel bad at something again, because I will admit, when I first played this game, I was dog shit. And even in this video, I'm playing like total dog shit, but that's also just because I've been playing actually a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5, and I know it's a really trash microtransaction riddled experience, but I've been playing a shit ton of that, so my chops with Dark Souls and this are pretty bad overall. But I like the game. I guess the reason why I didn't go back to it very often, though, is because I felt like the replay value was pretty low. The bosses were fun enough to play them multiple times, but I also felt like you had to fight them the same way every time. I know you had the ability to use different consumables and stuff like that to make fights a little bit different, but you couldn't change your weapon, you can't change your player character, you can't change what skills are put into what. It's more of like, okay, maybe I'll expand on this skill tree earlier, or maybe I'll use this arm prosthetic more. And I don't know, I felt like that was a little less customizable with the player character. It was just a little more shallow, and that's not a bad thing. I feel like it was obviously their design choice to make it so that you couldn't do that. They wanted to make a different game, not entirely like Dark Souls, and that's why we have Elden Ring on the way. But that's why I didn't really play too much of Sekiro. I played maybe a max of 5 playthroughs, and you know me, I'm playing Dark Souls all the fucking time. At least I was, and I've played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of hours on those games. And in Sekiro, I think I only managed to hit maybe like 65 hours. Like, I didn't play that much. So I just felt like it wasn't as impressionable on me as other entries from Software, and that's why I'm just so excited for Elden Ring. I wish we'd get some information. That'd be solid. I was really sad because I usually never watch the Game Awards ever, because I feel like they're kind of annoying with... It's kind of commercialized nowadays, so I watched it for the first time this year in its entirety because I'd been guaranteed by like so many different forums and prediction people on IGN and blah blah blah, and a bunch of sources were saying, yes, you're definitely going to see FromSoft at the Game Awards, 100%, or at least with a good amount of certainty. And I got to the end and I'm like, huh, well, that was awful. And I also kind of hoped that there'd be other releases announced that I'd be excited about, but I wasn't. I was pretty damn bored the entire time. I mean, yeah, there's Ghost of Tsushima and Hellblade, I guess, but these are projects that I never was super invested in, so I'm not like, oh wow, yay, Ghost of Tsushima, woo, because I don't really care that much. I was just really looking forward to From Software saying, hey, here's maybe some gameplay, or hey, here's maybe like another teaser, but nothing. This was even more vague than what they did with Sekiro when they showed what we didn't know yet was the prosthetic arm as the teaser, because at least they actually released some information on the game decently quickly. I mean, it wasn't immediate or anything like that, and it was still a teaser, but I feel like we got to learn about Sekiro pretty quickly after that little tease. This game was like, okay, here is a trailer that looked like a big reveal trailer, because it wasn't just a teaser trailer. It was like, hey, here's what some things are going to look like, and it showed a knight, and it showed a weapon, and it showed that female soldier with the detachable arm, and the blacksmith, and it was actually a pretty big trailer, and I figured, okay, that means it's almost done then. We're going to see something by the end of the year, and maybe we'll have an early 2020 release. But now it's been so long, and it's like, man, this really sucks. I feel like I've been screwed. But it also makes me think that it's going to be a next-gen release, because if they're not going to say anything until 2020, maybe even E3 at 2020, we're probably not going to get a game unless it's for the PS5 and the new Xbox console. I was glad to see, though, that they initially said it was going to be on all platforms, so it's not going to be like an exclusive or anything like that, which is great. I hate exclusives. Like Bloodborne, for instance, I literally only bought the PlayStation 4 so that I could play Bloodborne, and of course I bought other games for it since, and it's not just sitting there. I use it all the time, but I kind of hated how I had to initially do that so that I could play the game. I kind of despise that thing where they get contract deals with companies to market their new console, and I really hope it's not a timed exclusive for the new PlayStation, because we heard long ago that there was like a trilogy, or not a trilogy, but a 3-game deal with Sony from Software, and we never got that third game. We honestly all thought that Sekiro, when that prosthetic arm thing came out, was going to be that third game, because we were like, oh, Bloodborne 2, that looks kind of like Bloodborne 2 with some Japanese twist on it. So I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if it was a timed exclusive for the PlayStation 5. I hope it's not, because I hate when games are used as marketing tools. Everyone should be able to play the games. I'm liking the direction that things are going with cross-platform games and all that, but I would really like to see this game on everything all at once, because I'm going to buy this for a PC and start playing it and playing some gameplay. That's my goal for this channel, is when Elden Ring does come out, I want to do a first gameplay blind playthrough on this channel, because I've never done that. Actually, did I do that? No, I did it with Dark Souls 3, but I didn't finish it on the channel. I only got to a certain point and was like, I'll start recording videos about lore and about DLC predictions and stuff, because I felt like that's what people wanted to see more. But I kind of want to take this channel in a direction that's more personal. I did enjoy making those videos about predictions, but a lot of times I was getting a lot of backlash from fans who didn't agree with me or thought I was wrong, or whatever. Obviously, it's everyone's opinion, they can have their own, but I didn't like how hostile things sometimes got. Some hardcore people who know a little bit more about video games than me would sometimes just be like, you're stupid and you don't know about game engines and blah blah. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm not saying I do, but I'm predicting things. Who knows? I'm not going to college to be a video game developer. I'm going to be an engineer, so like that's not my expertise. I preferred when people were just commenting and being like, hey, this is my PSN, this is my Steam, we should play sometime, and I really enjoyed that. And I kind of want to get that community back, so I think I'm going to play more gameplays. I'm going to do more things that are more community focused, and if I do end up wanting to do something about predictions in the future, maybe I will. Anyway, I've rambled on for quite long enough, and my gameplay is actually running out here anyway, so thank you so much for watching, guys. It has been so long, and I really hope that I will be more consistent these days. I really want to be, and if I get some good fan feedback again, that'll be awesome. If you want to see some streaming on Twitch, let me know. I'll put that in the description. As always, thanks for watching. Peace.